Hello, everybody. Hi, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for patiently waiting in the waiting room before we get started. Welcome to the International Career Day for Health Sciences program at St. Lawrence College. So today we have some very exciting content for you and some great speakers that will be joining us live and or in a recording. So I want to just start the event by briefly introducing ourselves. So my name is Daria, and I am one of the regional managers at St. Lawrence College. I take care of the regions of Europe and Latin America and the Middle East. And we also have with us my colleague, Yelena. Hi, Yelena.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yelena, and I am a recruitment coordinator at St. Lawrence College for such regions as European countries and Central Asia countries. So I will be glad to help you and assist you with any questions you may have regarding the application process to SLC. Nice to meet you today.
Thank you, Yelena. Thank you. And we have one more colleague from St. Lawrence College today with us. It's Zoe Harris.
Hi, Daria and Yelena and everyone joining us today. My name is Zoe Harris. I'm another one of the regional managers for international recruitment, and I have Africa in my portfolio. So during the event today, I'll be answering all of your messages in the chat. So if you have questions, feel free to put anything that you want answered or any comments that you have in the chat, and I'll reply to you. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Zoe. All of you joined today to learn more about health sciences programs at St. Lawrence College. So to us, it means that you're looking to launch or continue your career in healthcare. So the way our event is going to go today is we're going to introduce you to one of our very popular programs called Healthcare Administration International. And there's nobody better to introduce this program rather than the program coordinator herself. So the program coordinator, Julie White, unfortunately was not able to join us live, but she created a video presentation of her program where she outlines, all the important aspects, including the program outline, career outcomes, and things like that. So we are now going to show her message to you. And after that, we have our wonderful students, international students, actually joining us live. These are current students that are taking healthcare programs in St. Lawrence College. And we will be asking them some of the most popular questions. And of course, you will be able to ask them the questions that you have yourself as well. At any point of the event, feel free to, just drop your questions in the chat. The chat box will be monitored constantly by Zoe. So we will be, doing our best to answer you as we go. We hope that the event will take about 1 hour. Will last about 1 hour, but if there's a ton of questions, we will always be happy to answer them. So without further ado, I am going to share my screen in just a moment and play you the presentation from Julie of the Healthcare Administration Program. Just a second. All right. Okay, you guys should be able to see.
Everyone, my name's Julie White, and I'm the...
Sorry, there's no picture. Okay, let's try something else. Of course, all events always have technical difficulties, so don't mind me. We have a plan B in place for if that happens. All right.
Welcome, everyone. My name's Julie White, and I'm...
Okay, so there we go. All right, now you should be able to see that. Okay, let's do full screen. There we go.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Julie White, and I'm the coordinator of the Healthcare Administration Program here at the beautiful campus in Kingston, Ontario. And I want to thank you for checking out our program today. I know you're anxious and eager to talk about jobs, and I'm anxious and eager to talk about my program. So let's get started. We have intakes every year in January, May, and September. And our students are people who come to us with a college or university degree, and most of them are healthcare professionals who are trained in their home countries. So we have folks who come to us from around the world, and we are really focused at getting those students into our system, learning, meeting with people who are working right here within the healthcare system in Kingston, and doing a lot of hands-on training and projects. So it's a different way of learning than what a lot of students may be used to, because we are really getting out there and into the workforce immediately. What makes us different? Again, it's those experiences that we all bring as professionals to our conversations. We do have a lot of robust discussion among our students, and then with folks who live in our Kingston community who are coming in to talk to our students, various problems and issues that we work on, to share stories with our students about their career trajectories and pathways. So we have a lot of fantastic discussions. This is just a photo. So the previous ones obviously were pre-pandemic. We've just had a couple of students who are starting to come in now, and we're excited that our new intakes are going to be in person. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of what the campus looks like before I get into talking about some of those career options. So we are as what we call a condensed delivery program. So we have 4 semesters worth of education, and you'll see that I'm flipping through very quickly here what goes into each of those 4 semesters. But basically, students are completed within 16 months of their education. They do qualify for a 3-year postgraduate work permit currently. So we're very pleased with that. And we do prepare students kind of for the developing level of discussions and dissemination of information that we will be having in the program. What happens when students graduate? And that really is kind of the big question that you're here for, obviously. A lot of our students are going to join the healthcare workforce right away in Ontario. A lot of them will do so potentially and look at licensure in the future once they become permanent residents. Some students will return to their home countries, not very many, but when they do return, they take on some fairly significant leadership roles. Some will want to continue on with their studies, so they may take a master's program at another university or in another area. So there really is a lot of different trajectories that our students are taking. Many of our graduates are working in fields like physiotherapy assistants. They're working as pharmacists, or maybe clinical managers, they're care coordinators, and more. So we've seen kind of the demand for healthcare professionals obviously has grown, as has kind of the number of positions that are available. And while we have licensure requirements in Canada that may be different than a lot of other places in the world, we will have a lot of students who are seeking their licensure. So they will work as kind of assistants or in some other roles while they do that as well. So we do have a number of grads who are working on obtaining their credentials as pharmacists or dentists or nurses, a lot of nurses, some physicians. Some of our students have gone on to take master's degree programs, things like public health, epidemiology, and other places in universities here in Canada as well as abroad. We do have a few students who are working within the Academic Health Sciences Center right here in Kingston, leading some research projects with Queen's University as well. So our career prospects really depend on what each student really wants to achieve. We'll provide you with the leadership and what used to be referred to as the soft skills. We'd like to call them human skills now, that are really needed to navigate the Canadian healthcare environment. Many of our students come to us, they're not necessarily sure of what their ultimate career is going to be. We work with you to help shape that as you work through the program. And we'll also introduce you to many career options that folks simply aren't aware of. There are so many new professions and new areas being discovered and developed within healthcare right now that we want to be able to connect people with real meaningful experiences to them. We know that licensure can be a long and expensive process, and there's simply so many jobs that can be available for students if they want to kind of continue their career in a similar fashion. The Ontario government has an agency referred to as Health Force Ontario, and it has an access center that can help identify what some of those career options are as well. If students want to perhaps Google Health Force, all one word, Ontario Access Center, and start to get a feel for maybe what some of those options could be. We also had a wonderful session a year ago now, actually 5 different sessions with students who had been through the program and graduated, to talk to them about what their paths were after they graduated and what they'd done. So we had sessions with dentists, we had sessions with nurses, physicians, pharmaceutical, and then we had kind of an other category where we had physiotherapists, we had lab technologies, research focused folks, and a number of others, just to talk about what they did post healthcare administration. So if you go to YouTube and you search for HCA career pathways, you can use my name as well, Julie White. You'll find where there's a playlist that's uploaded there that's open publicly. You can go in and actually listen to what some of our graduate students have said about their trajectories post graduation. They're the ones that know the pathway far better than I do. So I encourage you to go there, check them out, hear what they have to say. I look forward to hopefully meeting you soon. Take care.
All right. Well, I want to thank Julie, even though she is not actually here with us right now, but I hope that you enjoyed her presentation, and this already did answer some of the questions that you might have. But actually, what we also have in the agenda for you today, as I mentioned earlier, we have some of our actual students join us today to answer some of the questions about their program. And actually, both of the students that we have today on the panel are students of the Healthcare Administration program. So again, I just want to also make it clear that we have more programs in healthcare than healthcare administration, of course, but healthcare administration is just one of the most popular options among our international students. And that's why, we are always eager to promote it and to showcase it to our future students. So the first student that we have today with us, his name is Rashid. Hello, Rashid.
Hello, good morning. Nice to be here. Am I audible?
Yes, we can see you well, we can hear you well. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's very good to see you.
It's a pleasure.
You are now taking Healthcare Administration program. Which semester are you in?
So I'm currently enrolled in the Healthcare Administration program in my 3rd semester.
Okay, great. And we also have with us Anna. I don't know, is she, because I know that she was going to be a little bit late. I don't know if she's here yet. Well, maybe not. Maybe she will join a little bit later because Anna was in class, I know, and so she had some, assignments to complete before she could join us. So that's okay. That's not a problem at all. Okay, so we can start with, oh, I see Anna is joining. Hello, Anna. Hello, Anna, can you hear us? Okay, I see that Anna is just joining, so we'll give her maybe a few seconds to connect. But we can start our panel, and my first question will go to Rashid. So Rashid, you are now an international student at St. Lawrence College. So what do you like the most about being an international student at SLC?
I mean, what isn't there to like about being an international student at St. Lawrence College? I came here December 31st, 2020. That's last year. And I would say as much as that was during the, peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, things weren't really exactly, things were not exactly easy for me settling in a new country. But when you consider my past, before coming to Canada, I studied in Cyprus. I did my undergraduate studies in Cyprus. And I've always been exposed to a diverse environment where you have international students from different countries like, Iran, we have students from Turkey, and, that environment that is rich with, unique cultures is always something I've been attracted to. So coming here, I was expecting a little bit less, but obviously the program that I applied for, the healthcare administration program, is specific for international students only. And I got to know different people, especially, people from the Philippines and India, all of them with, varied health professions. And I would say that is just the best experience for me, just having to connect with different people from different backgrounds. And also being in a new environment, like Canada has been quite, shall I say, my social life has been really, really amazing. We have like where I work right now at Kingston General Hospital. I've met different people, like mostly Canadians, of course, but they've all been incredibly nice. And I don't know, there's just something about the culture here that that promotes inclusivity. And I guess that is something I'm not generally used to. So those are the two main points: inclusivity and, having to connect with people from different backgrounds.
That's great. Thank you for your answer, Rashid. It's very good to hear that your experience has been so positive.
Thank you.
I'm going to pass the word to Yelena.
Yeah, thank you, Daria. I see that Anna connected. So hello, Anna.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we are really glad you could join us today despite your classes. Anna started studying at St. Lawrence College this September, and Anna is also has great experience of getting higher education in 2 different countries as well as Rashid. So she studied in Russia and in Canada. So Anna, could you please describe how studying in Canada is different from your country?
It's very different. So when I studied at my home country in Russia, I studied medicine. I'm a physician. So we studied lots of anatomy, lots of biochemistry, physiology. It was really very difficult because it meant medicine. It's very difficult to be a doctor. It's very difficult to become a doctor in Russia. But in Russia, we never study human relationships. We never immerse how to communicate with people, how to communicate with patients, how to do it in a healthier manner. And here at St. Lawrence College, in my program, we study a lot how to communicate with people, how to communicate with work teams. It's especially important for Canada work as a team. Also, we study how to build a strong relationship between patient and healthcare worker, between co-workers. So it's completely different.
Thank you, Anna, and I'm glad you're enjoying studying now and you're learning new things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of new things, my next question is going to be to Rashid. Rashid, how has your program helped you discover maybe some new career opportunities in your field?
Well, to answer that question, I would first of all have to say that it's during this program, the healthcare administration program, that I got to know about, the healthcare environment within Canada. And as we know, there are indigenous groups that do not have proper access to care, quality care as well. And that is something that I've, learned more about during the course of this program. And it has kind of, I would say it has changed my perspective on what my career prospects are. Coming from a pharmacy background, I did my undergraduate studies in pharmacy. And I'm taught to, express my knowledge of drugs, the composition of drugs, biological, physical, and chemical attributes to helping the individual, right? So this profession is specific for individual, one person at a time. And with this program, I realized that my role as a healthcare administrator, I can implement it to helping communities instead of an individual person. And I personally think that, like so many surgeries and, treatments could be avoided if, public health strategies and policy making decisions were made, would have been made, right? You can avoid such things. So I would say that the healthcare administration program has helped me, realize that there are career options that I can take that would impact communities, not just the individual person. So there are different jobs right now that, integrated healthcare is a thing. So you can work within different communities, different healthcare organizations, to make like healthcare services decisions that would help, impact communities and groups. So that's pretty much it. That's all I can say to this question.
Well, thank you, Rashid. Like, my background is not in healthcare at all. And this is also something that I personally didn't really think about, didn't know about. So it's very good to know that you're learning such new things about Canadian healthcare environment. And you're right, international students coming to Canada, even though they do have this great scope of experience and knowledge from their home countries, they still, there is some things to learn about the Canadian aspects of healthcare and some of the not newer, but like different aspects of it that you just simply didn't think of because they don't necessarily exist in your country. So that's a very good thing for us to know. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and I also want to ask Anna and her just a point of view regarding this, that you're studying completely different aspects than at your home country. So now that you have started your program, have your career goals or aspirations changed, or do you still have the same career journey in mind?
Mm-hmm. I don't think that my goals and aspirations changed a lot. I think that my program, Healthcare Administration, is a great starting point of my career as a healthcare worker in Canada. And I'm so excited to be here. Yeah.
Thank you, Anna.
Anna, I just want to ask a follow-up question from you. In the future, do you, and also Rashid, actually, if you could answer maybe the same question afterwards. After you complete your program, do you plan to eventually, confirm your license to be, a doctor that you have from Russia, or to be a pharmacist, Rashid, that you have from Cyprus? Do you plan to confirm, how do you call that, evaluate this degree and that license to be able to work in that field in Canada? Or are you open to other careers in the healthcare sector now?
Okay, can I answer first?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so it's a very difficult question for me. I'm still thinking about that. Of course, I really want to become a physician here, but as you may know, it's very, very difficult to confirm our education. It's completely difficult and it's completely different, our the system of education in Russia and in Canada, it's difficult. It's different. So nowadays, I'm planning to work after my graduation as a healthcare administrator, and maybe after 5 years, when I become a permanent resident, I'm planning to become a permanent resident, maybe I will confirm my education as a physician.
That's great. What about your Rashid?
I would say a bit of both worlds. My response is almost similar to that of Anna, but I've always been someone who likes to take the initiative, and I know the process to licensing in Canada is quite hectic. It's a really long process. I think it takes an average of over 2 years for an international healthcare practitioner to actually integrate themselves into the system. So my own prospect now is to finish from the program, get myself integrated into the healthcare system in Canada, get some valuable work experience, and then begin my license. Actually, I have already started my license procedures. I have already done my evaluations. I just need to take the exams, right? Which is the difficult part, but I cannot, these are things that I cannot do while I'm still, having my studies. I'm still getting to know more about the healthcare system within Canada. I'm still yet to, garner enough experience, in Canada. So I would just say it's something that it's pretty straightforward. I just need to take it one step at a time. And also there is the concern, which is very common amongst international students, and that is, their resident status in Canada. Right now, most of us, we're all temporary residents, right? And there's always a limit to how long we can stay here. So, that is a major concern, because we're thinking, okay, by the time I graduate, I need to apply for a work permit, and that work permit is limited. And by the time I get that work permit, would I be eligible for a permanent residence? So all these things are all playing, all factor into our decision making. But I just think that what I want to do is just take it one step at a time. As I said earlier, graduate, get into the system, get my license, and find stability. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. And yeah, I know that a lot of international students, because both me and Yelena and Zoe, we all, especially before the pandemic, used to, travel to different countries, different regions, and meet with international students like back when they are still in their home countries and hear what they want to do. And a lot of international students want to be doctors and nurses and pharmacists and dentists in Canada. And of course, it is a very lucrative field, and it is, it is a career that is also in a lot of demand, but it is, as both Anna and Rashid mentioned, it's not a very easy path to get there. I'm not saying that it is impossible. It definitely is possible, but it's just, I really like your approach, Rashid, of taking it one step at a time. Just, kind of plan it out, because it is possible, but it doesn't happen overnight. And also for anybody who is interested in, taking healthcare administration program and then following the steps of Anna and Rashid and gradually, evaluating their license, we do have, as Julie mentioned, healthcare admin conversations on YouTube, where we have panels with physicians, we have panels with dentists, we have panels with pharmacists who are all internationally trained, and all of them took the healthcare administration program, and they share their plans of how they can, how they're planning to, get to where they want to be eventually, and what their long-term goals are. And maybe this can also help you in establishing your future goals. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question. So Rashid, can you please tell us about a time in your program where you were excited to learn something new, or a certain topic that, was very interesting for you? You already mentioned the indigenous populations and the specifics of healthcare around that, but if there's anything else that maybe you really surprised you, or you were excited to learn, if you could share with us, that would be great.
Well, I would say there are a few courses I've taken that have actually, changed my perspective. And yeah, just as you mentioned, the indigenous, I've taken some courses regarding communications in healthcare. But also this particular semester, I'm taking a healthcare human resource management in healthcare, which is, I would say it's a discipline that I'm absolutely, foreign to. I do not understand, I don't have any prior knowledge or experience about human resource management. So I would say that has been really, really interesting for me, because my whole life, my pursuit of career, getting a job, I've always been the one on the other side of the screen, what they call the interviewee. Like I get interviewed during meetings, and I don't understand what it takes, the system behind selecting or recruitment or hiring, people for a healthcare organization. I absolutely have no idea. So taking this course has really opened my eyes to see both sides of the spectrum, and to see how significant human resource management is in healthcare, because as you know, the nature of healthcare jobs are quite, hectic. Most healthcare jobs have high turnover rates. And, as a human resource manager, or shall I say expert, you have to decide who is the best fit for, the best roles or the best position to take. So I would say that one takes up the notch. And also there is accounting in healthcare administration, which I would say was kind of difficult for me, because I do not know the first thing about finance, So learning about accounting has been really, really intriguing. Yeah, there's been like a few challenges here and there, but I would say that has helped me with the whole, balance, how to, set up a balance sheet, how to read a balance sheet. It's a whole different thing. Most healthcare professionals were trained, were more like technical with regard to drugs and, the biology, the physiology, but we don't know about accounting. So when you couple all these things together, it gives you a broader perspective of how to run an organization effectively. Because if you don't know how to run an organization effectively, then, as a healthcare administration, you cannot, as a healthcare administrator, you cannot make decisions that would impact communities effectively. You will not know how to properly utilize the budget, to conduct like interventions that would help people. So all in all, I would say the accounting and the human resource management, those are the two courses that I've taken that has been, I would say, really intriguing and novel to me.
Yeah, that's interesting, because this is something that people don't always think about in respect to healthcare, that there's some, accounting, HR, or other courses that don't directly, convert to like treating a patient, but they're also very important for anybody to know. And actually in Canada also, the process, like you mentioned, the health, human resources and healthcare is like a completely new field for you, right? In Canada, we have some of those industries around like office administration and the healthcare environment are very regulated. And we actually have another program for somebody who might be interested into more in those kind of things called health information management, where students learn how to pretty much run the office of a healthcare practice. There you will combine pretty much your knowledge of healthcare, of statistics, and of IT. It's kind of a combination of the three. And in this program, like there is an association of health information, Certified Health Information Management Association of Ontario. So the students upon graduation, you can get a license, become a licensed health information manager professional, and there's also a lot of demand for those people in the field, and that's also one of the careers that I feel doesn't necessarily exist in other countries, but it does exist here in Canada. So if any of our attendees are interested in this aspect, this is also another program that you could consider. Yelena, do you have more questions?
Yes, sure. So talking about the application process overall, it starts in Canadian institutions earlier, almost 1 year before the start date of the program. And actually students have enough time to be prepared for the trip. But anyway, Anna, what was the thing, so now when you're in Canada, what was the thing you wish you had known before coming to Canada?
Well, I think that it's really very obvious, but make sure that you know your English on an appropriate level in order to communicate with English speakers. Because when I arrived in Canada, I thought that I have a great level of English. My IELTS test is 7.5. It's so great. It's so cool. But I understood that I understand completely nothing. So it's very important to have a practice with people who are speaking in English. And you have to make sure that your eyes are ready to hear the English speaker voice, speech, and so on. So yeah, if I knew about that, I will definitely take some classes with my English teacher in order to practice it.
Yeah, it's really very important. And I always emphasize to my students that besides their preparation for IELTS or TOEFL, for admission, they should also learn terminology of the programs they are applying for. It's really important. Thank you, Anna. Daria?
Yeah, thank you, Anna. It's great to hear your input on that and your advice. And talking about advice, I have a question which I think will be the final question from us to our panelists. I actually want to ask it from both of you, and I'll start with Rashid. Rashid, what advice would you give to other prospective students who plan to study in Canada? Like, what do you wish you knew? What's something that now that you know, you can recommend to somebody before they prepare for their application and their travels?
Well, I mean, first of all, I would say don't underestimate the cold in Canada. That's the first thing, because that's what I did when I came here, and I regretted it. You know, I had a really funny experience, and it involved falling on snow, on cold ice, but that's a long story anyway. But yeah, just be prepared. Make sure that you have the proper clothing to protect yourself, because frostbites are actually real. You can actually get frostbites, and the temperature here is not what I'm used to. You know, like, I'm from Africa, right? And the climate there is tropical wet. It's not like here. It's like absolute like polar opposites. So that's number one. And number two is there's only so much that you can prepare for. I know that right now, as a prospective international student, you have a lot of things flowing through your mind. You're thinking about finance. You're thinking about, you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to get a job when I come to Canada? What is this program like? Okay, I've read the program description on the webpage, but what is it actually like? You know, you have all these questions. And what I would say is give yourself time to experience it rather. There's only so much that you can prepare for, and you can never be too prepared for such, a journey, right? So moving to Canada would obviously come with lots of new experiences. So don't worry yourself too much, like I did when I came here. But thankfully, you know, things are actually, turning out okay. I'm doing pretty fine here. And lastly, you want to make sure that you have your mind focused on what you want to do when you get here. You shouldn't try to get too distracted or carried away with, oh, it's a new experience, like, moving to a new country. Of course, you take time to do what you want to do, travel here and there, but don't forget why you actually come to this country, because there are so many stakes, right? You want to look at it as an investment. You know, you're spending a lot of money, you're paying your tuition, you're leaving your family behind, and you're moving to this new location. You're trying to establish a career here. So there's so many stakes. So you don't want to lose or like take your eyes away from the prize. You want to make sure you're focused on that prize no matter what. That's pretty much all I can say for prospective international students out there.
I think this is very valuable advice. Thank you so much, because some people tend to overplan and some people tend to underplan. And it's good to kind of find the middle ground there. What about you, Anna? What do you think? What would you recommend and advise to future students?
Yeah, as I said earlier, make sure that your English is good to understand people. The second that I want to say is to, as Rashid, make sure that you pack up plenty of warm clothes, because if you are from warm country, as Rashid, it will be quite uncomfortable for you. But if you're in country from cold and severe climate, as my country, I'm from Russia, it will be okay for you because now it's about 7 degrees of Celsius. It's okay for me. I feel quite comfortable here. And the third thing, I think that believe in yourself. Don't be afraid to go on a risk. Don't be afraid to pass your IELTS exam. Don't be afraid to apply for your visa and so on. And set the high academic and personal standards and believe in yourself, of course. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And yeah, those advices are really very important. And I also remember that you are our successful recipient of Academic Excellence Entrance Scholarship. And I think it will be also a good advice for students to believe in themselves and to apply for scholarships we offer to our students.
Yeah, that's an important point. We do have some scholarships available for international students applying to St. Lawrence College, whether it is, you know, healthcare or healthcare admin or healthcare related programs or other. You can check them out on our website. I can send you the link in the chat soon. But yeah, I just want to say also one more thing about the weather. Like Anna, I'm also from Russia and I know exactly what you're talking about. Like +7 is not too bad for me. However, what I want to also stress is that in warmer countries, because I also work a lot with students from Latin America, in warmer countries, people don't always realize that in Canada, even though it is cold outside, we do have heating in all houses and inside it is warm. So, you know, you can wear something like this, even though it's -20 outside indoors and you'll be okay. So, so yeah, because I know that, you know, I've met students from Latin America who actually thought that, you know, the temperature outside and inside in Canada is the same. And I always say that it's not. It is, you know, we don't sleep, we sleep in minus some temperature. So you do have to have some warm clothes, some, you know, warm boots to keep your feet warm and gloves when you go outside, but inside it's actually quite okay, even in winter. So I hope that doesn't scare you too much. And also summers here are quite warm, like it goes all the way to +30 Celsius. Thankfully we do have Lake Ontario here, which is actually quite close to the college, and you can go for a swim or whatever. In the summer, it's quite nice. So it's not always cold and snow, but we do have the cold and snow for sure. That's something that you have to be prepared for. So I want to thank both our panelists for joining us today and sharing their experiences. I hope that everybody, you know, found them valuable and, you know, maybe learned something new about the program and about St. Lawrence College and about life of an international student in SLC. If anybody has any other questions to our panelists, you can, you know, just drop them in the chat, or you can raise your hand, or you can, you know, just kind of go for it. I'm sure they will be happy to address any of your questions. Well, if there's no questions, or if you are, you know, feeling maybe shy or whatever, oh, we do have a person. Yes, Annette, I can unmute you. Do you want to? Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annette. Yes, from Nigeria.
Great.
Okay, so I recently gained admission to St. Lawrence College for the health administration program. Okay, so I wanted to, I had a couple of questions that I would like to ask. So okay. First off, during the process of my application, I noticed that, also I had tried to apply for scholarships as well. And I noticed that the scholarship for international students didn't have Nigeria on it. Like there's nothing for students from Nigeria. So I wanted to ask, you know, why that is, and if there's any other scholarship available to students from Nigeria. And also I wanted to find out what's the pathway if I decide that, oh, I want to get a master's in healthcare administration after my program at St. Lawrence, like, what are the universities that I can transfer my credits to, and what's the process generally?
Yeah, very good questions, Annette. I'll be happy to answer. So the first one about the scholarship, I just sent the link to the chat. You're right. We before had scholarships just the way that, you know, it was set up in terms of where we were getting the funds, available to only students from certain countries. But now this changed, and now anybody is able to apply regardless of their citizenship. So if you follow the same link, you are welcome to apply for you know, being from Nigeria or being from anywhere else. You're welcome to apply for the scholarship that is on the website. So this is some very good news, and we're happy to share that with all of our students. So these are the scholarships, the link that I just sent, the scholarships that are issued and distributed by the International Center of St. Lawrence College. We also have scholarships that are issued and distributed by the SLC Awards Center. So those scholarships are independent from the international scholarships, and they are available for both international and domestic students. To apply for those scholarships, please follow the link in the chat as well. You submit one application and you become considered immediately for all scholarships that the SLC Awards Office administers. So, you know, you can, if some of them you might not be eligible for, being an international student, but some you may be eligible for, and you may receive some money. So please don't hesitate to apply. And those scholarships are also available for both current and future students. So Anna, Rashid, you're also welcome to submit your applications for these scholarship programs. In last year, we had, if I'm not mistaken, 53 international students who received some sort of award from the SLC Awards Office. So that's great, and we always encourage you to take your chances. As for your second question regarding masters, so here's where, you know, it's important to understand the difference between a graduate certificate program and a master's program. So in Canada, master's programs are very theory-based. So they usually include a lot of research and academia. When you apply for a master's program, in most cases, you have to find your future, like academic mentor, academic coordinator before you even enroll, determine the topic of your research and your dissertation and things like that, to clearly outline your, you know, academic goals before you enroll into a master's program. And if it's a master's program, especially related to healthcare, it will likely be, you know, based, like very, very research based. Graduate programs in Canada, on the other hand, are very hands-on. They're very skills-based. So you learn, like, for example, as Rashid mentioned, right, like accounting for healthcare, like human resources for healthcare. This is something that, you know, you learn like to just go ahead and apply to your workplace. So those are very different approaches. So that's why graduate certificates and master's programs don't always correlate, unfortunately. We don't have any, like having said that, we don't have any formal articulation agreements from healthcare administration to a master's program, you know, like in Canada or in any other institution. But if you are interested in the future in getting into a master's program, you can yourself do, you know, some research. And when you're applying for master's programs, you can tell them that I took these courses and I completed these credits, and there might, you know, they might count some of the credits that you have taken. But just the reality is that usually they're looking for very research heavy courses, which we don't necessarily offer because we focus on different things. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I hope it answers your question. If you have any further questions or if you want to clarify something, feel free to let us know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other questions?
I don't see any in the chat.
Well, yeah, Yelena already sent in the chat the contact information for myself and for her. We also, you know, just as a reminder, my name is Daria, and I take care of the regions of Europe, Middle East, and Latin America. Yelena is here with us, and she takes care and supports closely the students from Europe, Central Asia. And we also have Zoe, who unfortunately had to leave a little bit earlier, who supports students coming from Africa. So our contact information is in the chat box. And if you have any questions for us in the future, feel free to reach out, and we'll be happy to help. And thank you, Rashid and Anna, for joining again, for your very valuable input. Even, you know, me, I learned quite a lot of new things about healthcare that I didn't know about before. So that's great. And I hope that our participants learned new things as well. So Yelena, do you want to just add anything else?
Yeah, really, thank you very much for joining us today. And let me inform you that we are always open to your questions. So if you have any in your mind, just send us emails. We will be happy to assist you with everything.
Oh, Annette, I see you have another question.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, so I've gotten my admission here, and I'm in the process. No, I have already applied for my study permit from Nigeria. However, it takes a long time to get a response from the IRCC. So I wanted to ask, what's my next move since my admission for the winter 2023 section?
Yeah, Annette, we can take.
And I'm yet to hear from them.
Sorry. Yeah, we can take a look at your file. I know that the unfortunately does take quite a long time to hear back from IRCC in Nigeria. It is the case, and it's very unfortunate. Maybe if you can send an email to either one of us, we can take a look at your specific file in the system and outline, you know, the deadlines at the timeline for you, because there are certain deadlines for you to receive a study permit. And if you don't receive it until that time, you can defer to the next available intake. So worst case scenario, we can just like postpone your application to the next date. For healthcare administration, we have 3 intakes starting in January, May, and September. So the program starts 3 times a year, which is quite convenient. So we can develop a plan for you. So please send us an email with your student ID and your full name, so that we can find your application in the system, and we can look into that for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll do that.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and so that took us a full hour, so that's great, and I think we can wrap up our events. Again, thank you very much for joining. We will be sending you a follow-up email with recording of this event, so if you think that some of your friends or whatever who missed it might benefit from watching it, you'll be able to see the recording. We might be sending you other recordings from other program coordinators other than healthcare administration. Yeah, happy to see you today, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.